Keeping it fresh.
Ooh, keeping it fresh.
If you're not careful or intentional, it can become stale.
If you find yourself in a space where it feels like they're not attractive anymore because of their looks, then you need to kind of do a little digging. It's going to come a day where looks ain't going to cut it no more. I don't need looks. I need the bills paid.
Man,
I need to know that I'm feeling safe.
Yeah.
I need a protector for my kids and for myself. I need you to have some ambition. Other things are going to come into play after being with somebody for so long.
Fact. Be curious about your mate, right? Even after 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is, still be curious. And then spontaneity. Don't have to do nothing planned. Just the element of surprise keeps it going, right? Because that means, okay, you thought about me. You're like, hey, let's just go hang out, right? That means you're thinking about me actively. Right. What's up, family? This is Jay.
Hey, and this is Tay.
And you're now tuned in to another episode of the Unscripted Journey Podcast. Well, family, I think we have a great topic today. Another hitter, another banger. And so, Tay, let's do it.
Okay, let's get into it. I'm gonna let you say the topic for today.
Today's topic is keeping it fresh.
Ooh, keeping it fresh. Okay. So where we going with this? Like keeping it fresh when?
So when we say keeping it fresh, meaning this is for couples, this is for dating, married. How do you keep it fresh? How do you keep it, like the first time, right? Okay. And I think a lot of times we don't talk about that there will come a time where if you're not careful or intentional, it can become stale.
Right. The monotony of each day doing the same thing, getting super comfortable. Yeah.
And so how do we keep it fresh? And when we say that, like one of the biggest things is, because I think we don't think that when you get older, things change.
Right.
Looks change.
Okay, looks change.
Weight is gained.
Yeah.
Weight is lost.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so how do we keep it fresh, right? Like how do we keep it still, after 10, 20, 30 years, it's like, man, when I see you, it's like the first time I saw you, right?
Right.
So that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to dive into.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see how this goes because it can also, when we're talking about keeping things fresh, it also includes after, like you said, people gain weight, people lose weight, looks change. So you got to find something else that's going to keep somebody's attention.
No, most definitely.
I mean, I think that's like the whole gag of like staying married, right? So, staying with somebody for a long time. It's like eventually you're going to get to a space where the looks is going to run off because now I'm dealing with your attitude and can I deal with your attitude or your personality?
Most definitely. Yeah. And so for our listeners and our viewers, this topic came about after our last episode. You and I were talking. Yeah. And I was like, hey, during COVID, my mom and dad made it their business that on Sundays they would spruce themselves up, right? Like my mom would dress up, my dad would dress up. They weren't going anywhere, but they'll do dinner and everything. But they would give each other something fresh to look at, right?
Something to look at. Yeah.
And we're talking about two people who've literally been married for over 50 years.
Yeah, vets in the game.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, once me and you talked about that and you were like, man, we ought to talk about that in our next episode. Yeah. And I thought it was very interesting because it's like that's the intentionality that it takes. Right. Yeah. So come on. You got something you want to?
Yeah. So I will start off when we're talking about keeping it fresh. And like I mentioned earlier before, at some point it's going to have to surpass after looks. So I think for people who have the day-to-day routine, it's work, kids, and, coming home trying to, what's the thing say? I'm trying to drink my water. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to take care of my husband. I'm trying to take care of me. I'm trying to take care of the kids, all those things. It's okay, you have to be very intentional with your person. So when I think of it, I'm thinking, okay, when you first get home, when I first get home from work, this was something that we kind of had to deal with and kind of had to try to make space for and come up with rules and stuff for. It was okay, that first 5 minutes when you get home from work, okay, the first thing should be like, let's be intentional with each other, whether that's like a warm hug, whether that's like deliberate eye contact, coming over there, giving you a kiss, having a few little minutes to ourselves, not talking about work, not venting about something that happened, but literally maybe sharing a joke, or maybe sharing an inside, story or something like that, but something really intentional and intimate between you and your person. But as soon as you get home, to just kick off the afternoon of you getting home on the right foot and putting everybody in the right space, right? Because setting the tone is really important.
No, I think it's very important, right? And I think that's something we forget. Right? We forget because for a lot of us, the moment you get in the garage, come in the house, it's go time, right? Like your job is finished, but now it's like
you got another job. That's how we look at it.
That's how we look at it, right? And so we forget, man, like, okay, let me pause a little bit. And I think that me and you kind of noticed it, and I was like, okay, this is what we gonna do. Like when we come in, like whoever's coming in needs to stop, pause, give each other a kiss, right? Check in, and we talk, depending on, the time you get off or the time I get off, we talk and on our way home, but we try to take that pause, right? And I think that that's very intentional. And I think that pause is necessary. Right. It's necessary because it slows things down. We move so fast at a fast rate and a fast pace. And I think because of that, we forget the small stuff. And the small stuff turns into big stuff.
It all
if that
adds
makes sense.
up.
It all adds up.
And I was thinking too, like, like changing our perspective, right? Because it's like, that's the perspective we have. Like we get off one job to get to another one. But in all actuality, I love the work at home. Like I love my homework. You know what I mean? Like I love coming home to y'all. I love spending time with y'all. I love spending time with you. So like really changing I had to really change my perspective on that, because when I say it like that, then I move like that.
No, most definitely.
When I say like, now I gotta go home and do another job. So then I'm treating coming like home like another job.
No, that's facts.
And it's actually the work that I love to do. And so like I had to really be intentional with like watching my wording and really changing my perspective on it so that my actions can move along with how I felt about it.
And I really think, you said something about being intentional of the wording. And I think one of the things that we try to practice a lot lately is I get to, not I have to. And I think we may have shared it before, but I think that that's all encompassed with that. That all comes together is, hey, I don't have to, I get to. I get to come home, be with my mate, be with my person, right? And hang out, right? I get to be with my kids, whatever. So I think that that's the thing that always has to be in the forefront. That this is an opportunity, this is a blessing. And not only that, go further. Somebody would love to be in your shoes. Somebody would love to come home to that person, right? Like, and so I think that when you think of it like that, then that comes with a mindset of, man, I got to keep it fresh. And so the first thing is I got to be intentional, right? I got to lock in, right? I got to not take, man, this is so good. I got to take I cannot take the pass-bys for granted. When I say pass-bys, like when your mate's passing you by. I can't take those for granted, because there will be a day where I won't get those pass-bys. Right. And so every pass-by, I ought to be very intentional, right? And I think that was one of the things that I made sure, and I think we make sure to do is like, hey, like, let's slow it down and let's lock in.
Yeah. I think that's, like you said, I could go on and on about it, but I think it's just very important to like those pass-bys that you said. And I'm even sitting here thinking about me in the situation, because there's been a lot of times where like, I'm like, okay, I want to come home. And before I even come see you, I just want to get everything done downstairs, then come see you and then relax. And I'm just like, I'm rushing to get into bed for what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a time where I'm going to be able to sleep. It's going to be a time where I am going to be asleep. You know what I mean? So it's all good. Like, take the time that you have, enjoy the present moment, like you said, because it's not always going to be there. And just enjoying the people that you love.
Facts.
So that it was a good conversation. I like that. So
Okay. And so I would say to everybody, man, like lock in, right? compliments,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Eye contact, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think something I've been intentional about, and it really switched for me when you had kids, when we started having kids, and your body was changing.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was intentional to let you know, like, man, like, yo, you still do it for me.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I think of a song that I used to play when you were pregnant by Jamie Foxx. You still got it.
Yeah.
Right. Like it was talking about that, like, hey, you still do it for me. You still got it. And so I remember, like, you know, because for you,
you getting some brownie points.
You know,
ooh, you showing out.
You know, I remember for you, like when you were pregnant, like you didn't show signs of pregnancy until 6 months.
Like, 6 months, and I looked like a blowfish. Okay, I was like, "What happened?" Couldn't even put my shoes on. I remember I was like crying because I was like, "I put them on yesterday. Why can I not put them on today?"
And it happened all the time. Like at 6 months, it was like, "What happened?" And so I made it my business to tell you, like, man, you still do it even after you had kids, because that's important, right? Because. And so I think that's important, and not just for the males, but also for the ladies as well.
Yeah.
You know, the brothers may not say it, but I'll say it for us. We like to hear compliments.
Right.
Right. Sometimes we won't say that because of our pride and our ego, but we like to hear. We like to hear our ladies say, "Man, you looking good."
Right.
Like,
I just complimented you before we got on the show.
You did. You did. And so I think that goes a long way, right? And so that's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, the 5-minute rule. So what else do you think that that we or all of us could do to try to make sure we stay in that lane of being attractive and keeping interest and keeping it keeping it fresh.
Yeah. One thing one of the things I would say is like redefining what attractive is.
Okay.
Right. And I will say that because when you first meet somebody, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it's something on the outward that draws you to them.
Okay.
Right? And so that's just
automatic.
That's automatic, right? Mm-hmm. Like it has to be, something that says, oh, okay, yeah, but there has to be more to it, right?
Right.
And I think that we have to redefine attractive as we go on, because we said it earlier in the intro, like we change, right? Our looks change. And so what keeps you interested, right? What keeps you attracted to the person? And so I think that each couple has to do that.
Yeah.
One time, maybe 2 times, maybe every 5 to 7 years, right?
Yeah.
Of redefining what attractive looks like. Like I know for me, I think I was like 225, 230 pounds. I was skinny, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I have had my weight has fluctuated, right?
Yeah.
I didn't went to the 270s. That's the heaviest I've been.
Yeah.
And so, it's like now like coming back down and all of that. Like I know I've changed my haircut 1,000 times.
Right.
Like, and so redefining it, that it's not just what you look like.
Right.
And I say that because you taught me something. Like sometimes your words and how you speak to somebody can make you ugly.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your attitude, like,
oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that all comes into attraction.
Yeah.
Right? Like you were saying, just a few minutes ago before we started recording, you were like, hey, like, man, I'm in school, and so you're like, man, this is attractive.
Right,
like,
yeah.
You about your business, like you keeping up with your courses.
Come on.
Right.
If that's even how you do it.
Not clock the T. For those who are listening, she just hit, the clock the T movement.
I don't really do it. I don't really know it. I just did it just then. Hopefully it went over good.
So I think that's important. So what would you say, like, redefining attraction?
Yeah, I would say all those things. Okay. The same things you would say, like, and I would even say, like, if you find yourself in a space, because people find themselves in spaces, and I found myself in a space, you found yourself in a space where it feels like they're not attractive anymore because of their looks.
Yeah.
then you need to kind of do a little digging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like we said earlier, it's going to come a day where looks it ain't going to cut it no more. I don't need looks. I need the bills paid.
Man,
I need to know that I'm feeling safe.
Yeah.
I need a protector for my kids and for myself. I need you to have some ambition. Other things are going to come into play after being with somebody for so long.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After that, the cuteness is going to rub off because it's well, you cute and everything, but you ain't got no drive, or you don't want to do nothing, or you don't want to have fun, or you don't want to, all these other things will start to come up if looks is all you banking on.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree with you totally. I feel like, just being able to really know that okay, cool. Looks is cool. And don't get me wrong. Like you said, looks is automatic. Everybody wants something good to look at. But at the end of the day, don't let that be a driving force of the attraction that you have for someone for a long run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a long period of time, that's not going to be able to sustain you.
Yeah, no, for real.
So you got to find something else.
And I think that's very important, right? Because we're building for the long haul. One thing you've said, man, you make me laugh. That's and so I think that's all about it, right? About the attraction. It's okay, what is it? You know what I mean? How do I keep it up?
Right.
How do I for you? I know you love when I'm intentional about the young people say risen, risen. You love when I spit. I'm just hey, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
You looking good today, girl. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Hype me up.
Right. and I think that is the kicker.
Yeah.
Right. That it's almost like an oven.
Yeah.
Right. You got to warm that joke up.
Yeah.
You can't just be coming in cold turkey. There has to be intentionality. And so I think that every couple has to, and this all brings us back to this thing, communication, right? We've been talking about these last few episodes, right? And I think that this goes down to communication of what does attraction look like, right? How do we, what attracts us to each other?
Right. That's what I was about to say too.
You know what I mean? You need to sit down with your partner and be like, hey, this is what attracts me, right? When you do this, when you take out that trash, it makes me go back to this. It was a post that, that we saw, it was a lady.
Yeah.
And it was like a video, and she was like, when he took out the trash, it just, it melted her, right? When he was cooking dinner, it melted her, right?
Right.
It was all those things, right? And I think that those are the things that you have to be intentional to have that communication, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have to say, hey, this is what it is. This is what does it for me.
Right.
Because again, let's go back to it. It changes.
Yeah, that's true.
It changes. Like you said, it was looked one thing, but then it was and I never forget.
What?
I never forget, when we got together and you went shopping for me. We were dating because we were doing a gift exchange for Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
And you were with your mom, and you were like, man, mom, I gotta get this man some style. He can't dress.
Yeah, he was wearing long tees and 3/4 shorts. I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I get into?
Mind you, I'm from the South. That's how we dress. And this was the early 2000. This is before 2010. So I wasn't. But one thing your mom said is, girl, you can teach him style. But
you can teach him it.
He got a job. That's all the style he needs.
Right.
He work, he provide. That's all he needs. You can teach him everything.
You can do the rest. You said you could do the rest.
Nah, yeah. So
and look at me, I have.
Nah, I've evolved. I've evolved. I know I've shocked you with some of the things I bought in my closet, but no, for real. So we talked about that, defining attraction.
Okay.
What would be another thing that you would say, to couples of keeping it fresh?
Okay, so I think, we talked about, so now we can kind of talk about the looks of it all, right? Looks shouldn't be the only thing you basing it off of, but hey, it doesn't hurt to look good for your partner either, right?
It doesn't.
So
it does not.
Yeah. So some things, just being very mindful about okay, once you come home from the day, most people want to get out their work clothes, right? Because most people, I mean, some people, you know, can wear casual clothes to work and all those things. Some people have jobs where they got to really dress up. Some people have it in between, but more times than not, once you get home, you want to get out the clothes you went to work in.
Yeah.
And so I think also just being intentional with like, what's the next step? What you changing into?
Yeah.
Like what you going to be looking like afterwards?
No,
you know what I mean? So I think that's part of like, that's part of the journey too. Like understanding that, okay, cool. Like it's not everything and it's not sustainable, but hey, it feels good to me even sometimes to, hey, be like, oh, I still want to look cute for you. You know what I mean? So just being intentional with what's that next step of your look, right? Like, you know, we talk about it all the time and, you know, I'm going to sit here and say it like, I'll wear a wig, but baby, as soon as we get home, that wig is coming off. It is like a hat, okay? Like I do not like wearing wigs for the long run. Like it is legitimately for the moment.
She'll have that wig on and that thing be fire. Like, you know, just I be like, woo.
That thing,
and boy, like I turn my head.
Door,
listen,
that wig is off.
Turn my head. I be like, who is Cleo? Like when did Cleo set it off?
Right. So then just being very intentional with like, okay, cool. My hair gonna be braided. Maybe it'd be a cute braid in there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if I'm going to take this wig off, okay, maybe I just find a cute little scarf to put on it with it or something. Right. So just being really intentional with like that next move. And I try like when I come home from work, like even if I do change, I try to change into something that's still like cute. It ain't sleepwear yet, you know what I mean? But it's still something I could walk around the house with and still be kind of cute and still be relaxed.
And I think this is a good co-topic for the topic that we're talking about because you know, COVID changed a lot of us, right? Because you know, we weren't going anywhere. So, you know, it was, hey, we in the house, right?
Yeah.
What am I wasting clothes for, right? And so, and then a lot of people have shifted to working from home.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So like from home, you at the
we all seen the videos.
You know, you working, you got pancake stains on your t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because you know, the camera's not on. You know what I mean? Your hair is undone, but then you forget like, oh, like my person, right? And I'll take full, you know, like blame or whatever. I'll say like I have been guilty, right? Because for me, you know, her nickname for me is
basketball coach. He be running around this house looking like somebody's basketball coach. Okay,
you know, like if I don't, with me being a full-time pastor, you know, and I work sometimes at home and I work sometimes at the church office. And so like if I'm at home, man, like, it's shorts, you know what I mean? I'm comfortable, it's a t-shirt, if I got to get on a Zoom call, something
pulled all the way up.
I put a hat on, a brim on, and
Case in point.
Call it
Case in point.
And call it a day. But I had to understand, and I bring this up because sometimes fellas, and I gotta say this, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we are putting all of this on our lady, but like, and our lady, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know too many. I know I can only speak for you.
Yeah.
You don't really say much, but I had to be like, you know what, like dog, like I don't think she want to be seeing basketball shorts every day and Nike socks, right?
Yeah.
And my UGG slippers. I don't think she want to see, change it up, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that one thing we must be intentional about is when we talk to our mate about it, also consider what our mate wants to see as well. Right. That it's not just a one-sided thing. But I think that that's a real thing that you have to be, conscious of. Like, I know like for you, you like when I wear fitteds, even though I got a nice grade of hair, cause I have a nice grade of hair. I've always,
not you throwing that in there.
Before I grew my hair out, I had waves. I had them. You loved them because you ran your hand through them. But
well, all right. Got Indian in his family, y'all.
But I have to understand. Like, okay, I put a hat on every now and then. Throw on the outfit. When you come home, like you be like, oh, you. And I think that's the thing, because like you can't forget about your mate, right? You can't forget about that. And let's go into this sleepwear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, know what your man, like, I'm gonna tell you, I've told her 1,000 times, it don't bother me. Like, you can come with some jogging pants and a tank top. Guess what? I want it. You know what I mean? Like that, but that's me.
Yeah.
Right? You know, everybody's not like that, right? And so ladies, be intentional. Now that doesn't say to you, like, I don't like, you know, you don't have to spice it up.
I'm gonna do what I do, okay? But you ain't got to worry about it.
You do.
I'm gonna do what I do.
Facts. You do.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's another thing that we got to remember, fellas and ladies. Like, hey, like, you know, and I'll say this for the fellas. Like, come on, dog.
Yeah, don't be coming in with the holes in your drawers.
Yeah, like
it's, you know, come on, get it together.
And I would even say, man, she don't want your feet rubbing against her, and they cutting her, right, and they cutting up the sheets. Like, get your feet, you know what I mean? Like, I think that all comes into play, and I think that we get comfortable and we forget about that. Yeah, and
I will say this is one thing that I will say with that too, is like, that goes into your confidence too.
That's good.
Just really like,
that's good.
You know, sometimes it's cool to do it for your mate, but sometimes it's just cool to do it for you.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, that's good. When I come to bed after I take a shower, I am like, when I come out that shower, I am smelling like flowers. I'm smelling like all things sweet because I like that. Like,
Mighty God.
I'm super excited about it. I done brushed my teeth. I done put my body spray on. I done put some deodorant on, and I'm going to bed. Like, that's just what I like to do, and I love it. It's like my nighttime routine, and I absolutely love it. And I do it for me. It's not necessarily you reap the benefits of it.
I'm reaping.
But it's
I'm reaping.
But I do it for me, and so sometimes I think, you know, even finding that balance within yourself in that moment and taking the time out to say, you know what, like, I just want to sass up for myself. And and then your partner will reap the benefits of it. But, you know, just really doing it for you too. Like, on those moments where you just, you know, to get yourself out of the same routine of just like jumping into sleepwear, putting on a t-shirt and shorts, or whatever the case may be, you know, just say, hey, I'm gonna do this for me. I'm gonna sass myself up for me. And then your partner will reap the benefits. But I think that, you know, that's important too. Like, you know, hey, do it for you, you know?
No, I think that's good. Yeah. Right? Like for me, one thing I do is, and I do it for me, and you reap the benefits. You know, I get a haircut every week. Yeah. Like, I don't play about that. Right. And I want to make sure I ain't looking scruffy. Right. You know what I mean? So at least if I'm a basketball coach, you get a nice looking basketball coach. Right.
And that's something you love to do.
And that's something I love to do because I like to, you know, and I like
that's
to.
That's what you like. Yeah. So,
you know, I think that was a great point.
Yeah. I just think, you know, just at the end of the day, if you find it a hard time, like doing something to please your partner, then do it for yourself.
That's
like,
so good.
It definitely changes your attitude about yourself. It changes your mood, you know. It's like self-care.
No, that's
basically
good. No, that was real good, man. That was a real good point.
Yeah. Okay, so we done said that. So we done talked about that. So what else do you think that would go along with keeping things fresh with your person?
I think that you have to overcome saving the best for everybody else.
That's good. That's good.
You know,
because I will be going out looking like new money.
Looking like new money.
Right.
Like, you know,
where'd you get that from? Don't worry about it.
Listen, she is a queen of popping tags. You know, and one thing I'll say, she knows how to ball on a budget. Like she's a sales guru. But, you know, I think that's the thing that sometimes it's like, man, you know, we'll go out, man, you dialed up, and everybody else is, oh man, you looking good. But then when you get home, be like, dog, what happened? Right?
You really like that.
Huh?
You really like that.
Sometimes. Like, and I think that's the thing you have to understand. Like, I'm gonna just sum it up like this. Yeah. Keep that same energy.
That's good. Yeah. And I think that, you know, I will say I have tried to do that more so over time. But I think that it is very, you know, most of us, you know, if we going out with the girls or y'all going out with the guys, it's like, oh yeah. Like, you know, so it's a whole different vibe. But I know that, you know, it's important to make sure, you know, that I do that. So one thing that I do, you know, just giving a tip, most times I ask you like, hey, what's the mood for tonight? What you trying to, or I even ask you, what you trying to see? You trying to see me dressed up? Is this like a casual thing? You know, what is it? What's the look you going for tonight? And I think that that's something that I implemented, you know, recently, like because I've been kind of like, you know, sometimes you'll be like, man, I wish you would have dressed up. And I'm like, well, you should have told me, you know.
She is the queen of comfort.
Yeah. You know, I'll go outside, you know, I'll go out in a minute just being comfortable, you know. So it just, you know, I have found that a good thing for me is like to ask you, hey, what would you like tonight? Are we comfortable? Are we, you know? So I think that's important. Just like, hey, asking a person, because sometimes you may just be going somewhere real quick and be like, nah, we just going out here. And even if y'all do go somewhere real quick, like I still want you to dress up. So I think it's important, or I still want to see you look like this. I think it's important, like you said, that communication piece of asking your partner, like, what's the tone for the night?
And I think that is very important, right? I think that's very important because, you know, I know you can go to work looking like, you know, looking like it, or going out with, you know, but then your mate gets the scraps, right? And so I think that if you be intentional, right, and understand like, hey, my mate is with me. I got them. And oh man, this is so good. It's popped in my head. Just because you got them doesn't mean you don't have to keep it up to keep them, right? And I think sometimes we get comfortable. I got you now. Like I ain't gotta do that. Like,
I got you now.
You know, I ain't gotta get my feet done. You know, like nah, like that's what got me here. Like, you know what I mean? Your attention to what you do, the detail. Like, you know, because I'm gonna tell you. You know, my lovely wife, love her to pieces, but she swindled me. I thought she liked football, y'all. When we were dating, football, man, I'm eating my wings, whatever. She right there with me. Man, we got married. That switch. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, I thought you. No, I didn't really like football.
Right.
That was just right. You know, and I think that's all a part of it, right? Yeah. What you've done, what you did to get your partner, you have to be mindful to keep it up. If it's flowers, keep the flowers. Right. Right? Keep up the flowers. Like if it's, you know, whatever it is, if it's, you know, because we, you know, us men, you know, we like to show out in the beginning. Yeah. You know, I get your hair done. You know, if it's that, hey, dog, you got to, you know,
you have to keep it up.
Listen. So I think that that's the thing that you really have to understand and lock into. Yeah. And really hone in on that. It's like, hey, like, let's not go out in front of people or mixed company or go and we're not each other and we give our best. Yeah. And then we get together and say, man, like, you just be glad I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, give your person something to look at, something, you know, something every now and then to just be like, boy, now I know why I was like, I had to have you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it does show too that like the effort, like if you see me going out, this has happened to us plenty of times. You see me going out, and it's like, well, where you going looking like that? And then it's like, you know, we go somewhere and you wearing this, and so it's just like, you know, the feeling could feel like the effort is there for others, the effort is not there for me. So I think, I totally agree with you. It's important to make sure that you just thoroughly communicate those things, right? You thoroughly communicate like what the vibe is that you're looking for, and again, it just comes back to you too. Like sometimes you ain't gotta ask me. Sometimes I'm already on my own vibe. I'm like, whether you there or not, I'm going out like this. And so
sometimes you made me change.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, this the vibe I'm on, and sometimes I don't even care if what the vibe you on is. You know what I mean? So you know, I think it's just all in communication. Yeah. It's all into like being in tune with yourself and like, you know, saying, hey, this is some things I just want to do for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow suit or anything like that, but you just may reap the benefits of how I'm feeling and the things that I want to do for me.
No, that's good.
You know?
That's good. So wrapping it all up, put a bow on it. What would be the one thing that you would want our listeners and our viewers to take on?
I think the one thing that I would want our viewers to take home is understanding that keeping it fresh is not just about looks. It's also about just being intentional with your person, letting them know that you are still into them by doing like little things, like taking the time out to spend time with them when you first get home, or, you know, having that conversation, those inside jokes, right? Doing the things that they like, and also like just doing the things that you like. So I think if I was to wrap it up, that's what I would say.
Yeah. I think that was good. One thing I thought about that we didn't really cover, but I'll just throw this in there, is one thing I would say is don't lose two things: being spontaneous and the curiosity.
Yeah, that's good.
Don't lose that. And I think sometimes when we lose the spontaneity and being curious, then we lose the attractiveness and everything else.
Right.
So what does that mean? Keep being curious. Well, when you're dating, you're figuring out things, right? You're curious. You want to know stuff. Be curious about your mate, right? Even after 20 years, 15 years, whatever it is, still be curious.
Right.
And then spontaneity. Like, don't have to do nothing planned.
Yeah.
Just the element of surprise keeps it going, right? Because that means, okay, you thought about me. If you like, hey, let's just go hang out, right? That means you're thinking about me actively, right? And so that's one thing I would want our listeners and our viewers to take.
Yeah, that's
don't
good.
lose your spontaneity, and don't stop being curious.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good topic.
That was a great topic.
Yeah, that was good.
I enjoyed it. So family, I'm Jay.
And this is Tay.
And you were just tuned in to another episode of the Unscripted Journey podcast. Peace out.
See ya.